The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome, my friends, to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. It doesn't feel right. Maybe there's a good cop, bad cop thing going on here. Maybe they're working together. Flipping it around a little bit, I'm reading a discussion that's going on about the news story that has taken over the entire news cycle. Nah. This is real. Ugly bromance breakup. My theory, I guess I shouldn't assign names to this because I don't have permission to tell you who this chat is in between. But two people very dear to my heart are discussing what could be the biggest political breakup in recent memory. And one person says maybe there's a good cop, bad cop thing going on here. They're really working together, flipping it around a little bit. They'll get what they want in the end. The other person, nope. This is real. This is ugly. The bromance is breaking up. My theory is that Musk has huge daddy issues. Surrogate dad Trump hurt him by not doing what he wanted. Teen Elon is in meltdown. Now we're in a measuring contest, and Trump wins that one. Unfortunate, all of this. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But inevitable. Inevitable. Yes, my friends, the headlines say it all. Musk says Trump would have lost the 2024 election without him as the big, beautiful bill feud continues. And that's from Fox News. While speaking with reporters in the Oval Office, hasn't been the Oral Office since Bill Clinton's days, Trump said he was very disappointed by Musk's vocal criticisms of the bill. The president claimed Musk knew what was in the bill, had no problem with it until the electric vehicle incentives had to be cut out of it. Very disappointed, he said, because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill almost better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate. Musk pushed back, said the president's claim that this bill was never shown to me, not even once. It was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. We talked about that yesterday. And we're going to talk about that for a few days to come. The Tesla founder has been a vocal critic of the Trump administration and Republicans over the last few days because of the legislation that the president has pushed. Musk has taken to calling it the big, ugly bill, and at one point advocated for a slim, beautiful bill. Trump. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate, and that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Hey. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised Biden didn't do it. Turning to the New York Times. Live updates. Trump threatens to cut Elon Musk government contracts as feud escalates. The president on Thursday threatened to cut billions of dollars in federal contracts and tax subsidies for Elon Musk companies, escalating a feud that unfurled on social media in remarkably public and rapid fashion. Their unlikely alliance dissolved into open acrimony, with the two men hurling personal attacks at each other over matters both significant and petty. It's remarkable how quickly this alliance unraveled. Less than a week ago, President Trump feted Elon Musk with an Oval Office send-off. Let's see. Here's an update at 3:28 p.m. after the president threatened to cancel contracts with Elon Musk company's shares and publicly traded competitors to Musk space exploration program. SpaceX rose in value. AST Spacemobile rose as much as 5.8%, while EchoStar rose to more than 15%. Let's see. 3:32 p.m. If President follows through on his threat to end government contracts with Elon Musk companies, it would have massive implications for both Musk and space exploration. Last year, Musk companies were promised $3 billion across nearly 100 different contracts with 17 federal agencies. Does D.O.G.E know? Most of these contracts are for SpaceX. Let's see, going back earlier in the day, 3:22, Tesla stock price slide has continued. The company is now down more than 16%, on course to be the company's worst fall since the onset of the pandemic back in March 2020. 3:18 p.m. this afternoon. Almost an hour ago, not quite in the last hour. Oh, this is ugly. Yeesh. Elon Musk continued his war of words with President Trump, his war of words, on X by claiming that the president is in the Epstein files. Ew. A reference to government documents.
He said, have a nice day.
He said, have a nice day. 3:15 p.m. Still less than an hour before we took to the broadcast air to inform you of the day's events happening in rapid fashion across America. Elon Musk is now setting his sights on Speaker Mike Johnson, essentially calling him a hypocrite for voting for a package that would add to the debt at a time when the House is expected to adopt a package that would codify spending and budget cuts put forward by the Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency. It gets worse from there, or better. It's okay, folks. It's out there. Elon, I had hoped to avoid this when the first stories came. I said, you know what? I'm not going to really talk about this. Oh, that teacher is gone. Yeah, it was a craziness. I got a text from America's Small Caffeinated Mom earlier, Rhonda Schrock. She sent me a picture of two ladies in front of the White House. One had a T-shirt on it, and it looks all flowery and stuff until you actually look at the bottom of the flowers. One of the teachers says 8647, and they're standing right outside the White House. She's a teacher at Middlebury Community One in Indiana. This was on a school trip, so she decides to wear the 8647 and pose in front of the White House. I just got another text from America's Small Caffeinated Mom. That teacher has resigned today, and that teacher is no longer threatening young minds with, or teaching young minds, depending on how you want to look at it. Another headline, let's see. We're all over the place, folks, because that's where the news is today. From the Hill, Trump threatens to cut crazy Musk. Government contracts, well, we already covered that. Okay. Your thoughts, quite welcomed. Maybe. Feel like taking some calls today? We don't usually take calls during the fastest hour in American media because we got so much other stuff. And we have a lot of other stuff. But we may take a few. If Carl's is up for it at 848-9222, we may take a few calls later on. We got plenty to do, folks. I thought the big story of the day was going to be Trump's travel ban. Liberals are already having a cow about that. And the cow started, I think we had Dan Goldman. Yeah, we have Dan Goldman somewhere. Trump issued travel ban last night, and this is well thought out. The government, under the Trump administration, has done a risk assessment. Risk assessment on a lot of different factors. The proclamation suspended entry of travels and immigrants from a bunch of countries here. Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, or Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia. Ooh, Somalia. Wonder what Ilhan Omar is going to say about that. Sudan and Yemen. And, of course, Democrats immediately jumped to the conclusion that, well, the only thing that Democrats think about anything that happens with Trump, they assign the most horrible motives to it. And I'm looking to see whether we have that, because I thought, do we have that Dan Goldman response to the travel ban? If not, we'll find it for you a little bit later. But Dan Goldman pretty much, Let's cut four. He was on with Katie Collins from CNN, and of course the predictable Democrat Party reaction to the travel ban.
Congressman Dan Goldman of New York, and it's great to have you here, sir. I do want to ask you about the auto pen and what is happening here at the White House. But before that, the other executive action that President Trump took tonight, banning travel from these 12 nations, restricting it partially from 7 others. What is your reaction to that move from the White House tonight?
I mean, it's pretty consistent with what his quote-unquote immigration policy is, which is just essentially to keep anyone who's not white out of the country. And that's what he's trying to do with these mass deportations of people who are going through the asylum process, which is a lawful pathway. That's now what he's trying to do in targeting these specific countries. And so it's a combination of this effort to push forward with this great replacement theory, as well as just to distract from what's really going on, which is a revolt against his terrible reconciliation bill that cuts taxes for billionaires and increases our deficit by $2.5 trillion.
Number one, there is no revolt other than the Elon Musk. That's enough, Dan Goldman and Katie. We got to go to a break anyway. But look, there are reasons that it happened. Okay, and there, by the way, are exemptions to it. This is from CBS News of all places, why were the countries selected? On the first day of his second administration, President Trump, CBS, directed officials to perform a security review of high-risk regions and make recommendations where immigration and travel restrictions should be opposed. The president said the factors considered were the large-scale presence of terrorists, number one, failure to cooperate on visa security, inability to verify the travelers' identities, inadequate record keeping of criminal histories, and persistently high rates of illegal visa overstays. All of those factored into how the nations were chosen. Not what the Democrats would have you believe is that, it's a racist. He just wants white people. Baloney. Yes, it's tiresome, but that's all the Democrats have. James Golden, Snerdley, do not, whatever you do, go away. Continue to enjoy the fastest hour in American media.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
But the damage that he did was just really incredible.
Yeah.
He slashed 250,000 federal employees, more than 8,500 contracts, more than 10,000 grants, and his cutbacks on medical research cost the lives of the foreign aid, cost 300,000 lives, mostly children. That's the damage that Elon Musk did. So I don't think anyone should be listening to him about anything.
I hope you have a good lawyer. You claiming Elon Musk murdered 300,000 children? Lady Benedict says and wants to know if Democrats are going to start buying Teslas again. And the comment has been made to me, I hope this doesn't go on, this stupid fight. I hope there's more to this stupid fight. The world is watching. The whole you know what? That's a phrase that I am just so sick and tired. The world is not watching anything. The world is too busy making TikTok videos, having relations with each other, regardless of your gender mattress. We'll be back. Fastest Hour in Media continues. The world is not watching, but they should be listening here.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Today I got told by my white Southern husband that I need to get off my phone, get off TikTok, and get my ass out into the real world, and I will see that I'm not being affected by everything that's going on in our presidency. He said that if I got out in the real world, I would see that this actually won't destroy America.
No, it's not.
That's pretty easy to say when you're a white person.
Oh, boy.
And you're straight and you're married. It's not affecting us.
Can you imagine?
But it's affecting a bunch of other people around us.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can't have any empathy for that, and if you can't stick up for people that are going through absolute living hell right now, then shut your mouth.
Oh, boy. Nice.
How dare he tell me to get off my phone and stop being informed? Maybe he should get on his phone and learn and see what is actually going on in people's lives.
Oh, boy.
He straight told me that Trump will not destroy America. This will not destroy America. He's convinced.
Yeah. Poor guy. Okay, let's move on. We've got other news to cover here. Want to get to things quickly. We talked about this travel ban very briefly. Again, Democrats with their one-note samba. Racist. Everything is either racist, sexist, or whatever it is. And there are valid reasons, including security reasons. Many of these countries were not vetting the people that they were sending here, whatever. And there are exceptions, by the way, into this travel ban. There are exceptions. The travel ban outlines exemptions for Afghans who assisted American forces and have special visas, diplomats, athletes coming to the U.S. for the World Cup, the Olympics and other sporting events, dual nationality passport holders are also exempted from this. It also includes exemptions for U.S. permanent residents and the spouses and children of U.S. citizens who have clear and convincing evidence of identity and family relationships. So it's not some blanket ban on everybody from these countries, as these uninformed, purposefully Democrats would have you believe. There are some problems with the quote-unquote big, beautiful bill in the Senate. We knew that was going to happen. Senate Finance Committee Mike Carpo from Idaho is warning that there are 2 likely no votes against the bill already in the Senate GOP conference. One more defection, and the bill will not pass. But we know that both Rand Paul and Ron Johnson are against the bill. We've heard noises already from Sue Collins, and of course, you know, Lisa Murkowski from Alaska is hanging out there. And I tell you what, we had some sound from somebody protesting outside of Ron Johnson's office today, and they're not some pro-bill person. They're just again. I guess these guys don't even know that he so far is against the bill. Because this protest, to cut 12, this is the same rant. You heard Sonny Hostin talk about all these people going to die. Democrats have been talking about that. Hakeem Jeffries. Cut 12. Here's what it sounded like in the Capitol building outside Senator Johnson's office.
Ron Johnson is killing people by kicking them off Medicaid so he can give a tax break to oil companies, which is evil. This is a choice he is making. A choice he is making to kill people by kicking them off health care. People will literally die. People are literally going to die. I grew up.
This is the hysteria that is going on. Now, I want to turn to a few other things very quickly. We have one of the best, I think, explanations of what's in the travel bill, and also connected with this business of the terrorist whose family was deported on the Abby show on CNN. And of course, Scott Jennings just nails it. That would be cut 1. And let's listen in briefly, folks. This was a good segment.
A Colorado judge halted the administration's attempt to deport this alleged attacker's entire family, his wife and children ranging from 4 to 18. Let me just read for you, Scott, and then you can respond what the attorney for the family said. Punishing individuals, including children as young as 4 years old, for the purported actions of their relatives is a feature of medieval justice systems or police state dictatorships, not democracies.
Is this family in the country legally or not?
Actually, I'm not sure.
I think they may not be.
I'm not sure.
And obviously in the household, you have extreme radicalism, and that has now led to the literal burning of American citizens on the streets of this country in a clear act of domestic terrorism. And so, again, we have an individual district court judge stepping in here to try to prevent the commander-in-chief of the United States from protecting Americans from a clear invasion of radicalism. That's number one. Number two, regarding the travel ban, he has a great reason. These countries don't vet people. They don't share information. People who come from these countries, which all, by the way, the link is the governments are essentially failed states. They're not functioning. And so they overstay their visas. All of these countries present massive problems for our own government when trying to figure out who's coming here, why, and how long they're going to stay, and what are they going to do when they get here. We have had an awakening in this country of the abuse of the visa system. If you're on a visa, you don't have a right to be here. You're a guest in this country, and we've seen a number of our guests turn on actual Americans that it needs to stop.
Yes, he did run on another ban, but the timing is quite interesting because there's a Republican civil war right now that he doesn't want to talk about.
Civil war?
Yes,
what do you
civil
mean
war.
by that?
please, we know that the Republicans are at odds between Musk, and even though I think it's a fake beef, but I still think that this is trying to change the subject away from this horrendous CBO report and this anemic jobs report where 31,000 measly private sector jobs were added. And so if we could be talking about this as opposed to that, that's a win for Donald Trump.
So you think the Musk-Trump fight is like reality TV, like Real Housewives, where they're making up fights so that they...
Scott seems to think it's real because mommy and daddy are fighting.
I'll give you credit for one thing. The Democrats are going to take the bait and make sure we talk about this.
Yeah.
Every time Donald Trump takes an action to crack down on illegal immigration, Democrats take the bait and defend the terrorists and illegal immigrants every single time, and they will this time.
And yes, that is true. And wow, the fight has now broken. I got a text from Princess Diana. This text she sent me was a Bloomberg story that has just broken. Musk says SpaceX is going to decommission Dragon spacecraft immediately. The Dragon spacecraft will be what Carlos? What? Speak.
What is the Dragon spacecraft?
That's the SpaceX spacecraft that goes up, comes back down, and lands by itself, by the way, can be used again. And it's the one that helped rescue those astronauts that got stranded up there when the Boeing space capsule ride back home was considered to be too shaky. Ferry back and forth Americans. It's been very useful for SpaceX. This thing is spiraling out of control right now. This is not good. This is really, really not good. I'm just saying. We'll have to see where it goes. Let's see. Michelle Wu on immigration. I definitely wanted to get to this today. This woman is the mayor of Boston. That's cut 9. She has been outspoken in her pretty much hatred for the Americans that are bravely serving in federal capacity trying to get and follow our immigration laws. This is the latest from the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu.
I don't know of any police department that routinely wears masks. We know that there are other groups that routinely wear masks. NSC 131 routinely wears masks.
Mayor, just to clarify, are you comparing ICE, you said, to NSC 131, the neo-Nazi group? Are you comparing them to a neo-Nazi group?
What I said is that Boston Police and no police department that I know of at the local level routinely wears masks.
Yes, she is now comparing ICE to neo-Nazis. That is the mayor of Boston. Hakeem Jeffries also has remarks about ICE agents and the mask. This thing has offended Democrats. Like, these are the people that demanded that the entire country mask up, even though it wasn't scientifically necessary or proven for COVID. These are the people that were running around wearing masks inside their closed vehicles. These are the people that were running around wearing masks outside when they went for a walk with nobody else around because they just love the mask. These are the people that demanded your school children wear masks, and some of them were developmentally hurt by wearing masks. These are the people that wanted to throw you in jail if you did not comply with their mask mandates. These are the people, and also their vax mandates, and now they hate masks because the ICE has to wear them to keep from being doxxed by liberal groups who are trying to cause harm to these ICE agents and to their families. And this is the minority House leader, Hakeem Jeffries, on ICE. Yes.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will, of course, be identified.
So he is now threatening to identify ICE agents. So what? The Democrat left can go after them? These people are out of control. Okay, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at the White House today. Cut 14. This I found almost hysterical.
And I'm here, Mr. President, to talk with you later on how we could contribute to that goal. And we all are looking for measures and for instruments to bring this terrible war to an end. And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D.Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that was not a pleasant...
This was not a great
in
day.
the long run, Mr. President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
And we know what we owe you. But this is the reason why I'm saying that America is, again, in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this war. So let's talk about what we can do jointly, and we are ready to do what we can. And you know that we gave support to Ukraine, and that we are looking for more pressure on Russia. The European Union did, and we should talk about that.
We will talk about it.
Yeah, so the president, he brings up, tomorrow is the anniversary of D-Day, and President Trump says, yeah, that wasn't a good day for you. But, hysterical. But he came back nicely from it. I am getting so many tweets and things from the tweets are still flying between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. This is out of control. James Golden, Snerdley. James Golden, Snerdley with you here. Fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I agree with you. I don't think she will, although I would argue that it's pretty disloyal to leave the political party that, gave you your biggest career shot that you've ever had. But I tend to agree with you. I mean, I think the things we've learned in the last 2 years is that the two least credible sources of information in this world are the Gaza Health Ministry and Karine Jean-Pierre. And when she puts this book out, every single person who reads it, reviews it, or discusses it needs to remember that virtually everything she said about what was going on behind the scenes in the White House was an outright lie. And so when she puts a book out, I think we ought to treat it from a source that has a proven track record of lying from the podium of the White House to the American people.
Well, we will find out.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get to that story for 2 days. I don't know, maybe Saturday. James Golden, Snerdley. Yes, so many other things to discuss. I'm just seeing if we can sneak one in. 11. This is James Carville, folks. And I don't know. You tell me, will there be some blowback from this James Carville?
I tell you who this exposes in a more profound way. And I hear this all the time. I mean, you got to try to raise money from really wealthy Jewish fundraisers. And it said, look, James, I Democrat, but I can't be a part of party because of what happened at Columbia. Well, what the did the Democrats have to do with what happened at Columbia, by the way? Mm-hmm. All right? What? But because they have some students at Columbia who fucking, generally made an ass of themselves. Well, I can't do that, but I can be for a party that everybody endorses the alternative for Deutschland. Read the modern incarnation of National Socialism, if you will. And I just find these kind of people, I literally, my instinct is, and they tell me that. They look me right in the eye. And no, you just want your tax cut. Now, that doesn't apply to most people, most Jewish people see right through that. But the ones that don't see through it, they just don't really, at the end of the day, they just want that tax cut. And you can see it every day.
So,
well, there's a guy named Bill Ackman.
That's enough. That's enough.
List, James.
That's enough. The wealthy Jews just want their tax cut, according to James Carville. We got to go, folks. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you on this, the fastest hour in American media. God willing, we are back tomorrow for the I Can't Believe It's Friday edition. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?